Well, Angela made her renom after Lisa took herself down with the veto. But before we get to that, let's first talk about the MVP over the past 24 hours, which was indeed Tucker. Yesterday, I talked about how he went to Angela to bury Matt after Matt stupidly told Tucker that he was trying to get Angela to put Tucker on the block because Matt continues to chatter too damn much. Tucker was the only person that seemed to want to talk to Angela, the HOH, who had to make a renom. I mean, people were approaching her, but a lot of it was kind of personal talk, which I also touched upon yesterday. I think a lot of that has to do with it being Angela's fault because a lot of people kind of see her a little unstable because she has been certainly unstable. And so I just feel like nobody wanted to push her too much because maybe they could become a target to her. She has been very much changing her mind this entire week so far, and I think that this was another case of her own game coming back to bite her in the ass. But Tucker was the person that continued to go to her and make sure that Matt was to be put on the block. The whole Takor thing after yesterday, where it seemed like she was expecting Takor to come and talk to her and pawn herself because she thought Matt was going to convince Takor to do that. Takor never did that. That conversation never happened. It was all in Angela's mind. A lot of this stuff between Angela and Matt has been crazy because, as different as they are as players, they're very similar. Or I guess I should say, they have very different problems, but it all has kind of become the same detriment to them. Because with Angela, it's her paranoia. Her paranoia has made her have so many different targets this week, so many different scenarios running through her head. And with Matt, his downfall is his ego. His ego is where he thinks he's making these connections with everyone and everyone's listening to him. But his ego also doesn't want to work with anyone. He's constantly throwing people under the bus to different people. Other than MJ and I suppose Leah, but he did throw Leah under the bus too early on. He feels like he doesn't need anyone while also feeling like he has everyone. So it's similar to Angela in that his ego makes him dumb, just like Angela's paranoia makes her dumb. And in doing this, Tucker was able to play him. Tucker kept going to him yesterday and saying he volunteered to go on the block, making it seem like Matt is really does have a say in this house and that his word does carry a lot of weight. Tucker played the hell out of Matt. And today, Angela renoms Matt as the renomination. Matt thought he had this in the bag. He'd been telling Kenny over the past day that, well, he was telling Kenny that Takara was going to go up at first. He thought he convinced Angela of that. And then Tucker convinced him and Kenny that Tucker was going to go up on the block. Both of those scenarios were wrong. Matt gets put on the block. And now instead of Matt, trying to get votes, he seems to already think he has the votes and that he's going to be staying. He's so confident with his gigantic ego that he feels sorry for Kenny and Chemo because he feels like they feel like they're going to go home. He's kind of right about Kenny. Kenny is a giant flop. Don't know why he was cast. He's the worst part of the cast because he's kind of just there as it is. And now he's already giving up. That led to kind of an argument between him and Angela today. Of course, Angela continues arguments. But she was right in this regard that Kenny just wants to give up and let Matt survive another week. Then why is he even here in the first place? Kenny's feeling bad because he missed his 8-year-old daughter's birthday or whatever. I think she's 8. No matter how old she is, if that was the case, if Kenny was going to feel this way, he shouldn't have came on the show in the first place. One thing about this season that I'm enjoying, there's actually a lot of things I'm enjoying, but one thing is that the people that are playing dumb or playing bad are already being seen that way early on, which has not been the case in recent seasons. People have played bad the last few seasons, and it doesn't really catch up to them until mid to late game, Right now, the people playing bad are kind of already seen that way. People see Angela for being the crazy person that she is. People are seeing Matt for being this egomaniac dummy that talks too much. People are seeing Kenny being this weak individual who is barely there. I'm glad to see the weak players already kind of being seen for what they actually are. Lisa also continues to play a little over the top. But that was also kind of Matt's fault. Matt came to Lisa today to kind of bury himself with Lisa, but also kind of get in Lisa's head, talking about the fact that he knows that Lisa's working with Angela because Lisa has a power. And Angela does seem to think Lisa has a power. Even though we saw in the episode that Quinn told Angela he has the power. So there's no reason that Angela should think that Lisa has a power. And yet that's been one of her main concerns since feeds have been on, basically, is that Lisa has a power. So unless she thinks there was a different way to get a power, which I guess, I mean, if you're as paranoid as Angela is, I understand how she thinks that. Or she watches online survival right here on this channel, because I put a bunch of powers in different ways to get him all the time. But nonetheless, Angela should not think that Lisa has a power, is my main point here. But when Matt's going to Lisa, Lisa gets upset, tells Matt to keep her name out of his mouth.
Keep my name out of your mouth.
Okay.
Matt, keep my name out of your mouth. Don't fight dirty with me this week. You don't want to mess with me.
Threatens Matt. And it's nice to see Matt get threatened, because Matt was acting so sad again today, because after he and Angela talked it out yesterday and Angela apologized about bringing up his mother, he was expecting Angela to apologize in front of the whole house. He wasn't happy that that never really happened at the veto ceremony, and is still trying to get Lisa to convince Angela to apologize to him. It's just another kind of egomaniac ploy from Matt that has nothing to really do with the game, but it's also kind of been his game style, where he talks at people, where he kind of tries to he wants to make everyone seem like he's so deep and just woe is me. Also, there's a combination of I'm deep and woe is me, and it's not working because he's not good at talking. Like I said in last night's video, to me he just comes off like a stoner who thinks he's deep, and he's not. But it was nice to see Lisa threaten him. Lisa has been far more of a player than I expected from her, which is a great thing. Although she is also a little crazy. And I'm very much enjoying this one-sided beef between Tucker and Lisa. Tucker hates her, rants about her often. The funniest thing yesterday was that to put down Matt, he kept calling Matt the male version of Lisa, which to Tucker is like the worst thing anyone can say about anything, because he hates Lisa so much. So that was funny. Another reason why Tucker is the MVP for me, because he is such a hater, which I relate to. Speaking of hating on people, let's hate on some people. Quinn, I finally get to hate on that nerd, telling too many people he has the advantage or the power. He told Angela, as we saw in the episode, even though I don't know if she remembers that or believes it because she's crazy. But now he also told Chemo, it's the kind of power that the less people know, the better. It kind of ruins the surprise. It kind of ruins the power when so many people know a secret advantage that's supposed to stay secret. So as a super fan, stupid of Quinn, and it should be called out. Because if we're going to call Matt out for talking too much, then Quinn talking about his power to already at least two people that we know of, could be more. Two people is already two people too much to me. You tell one person at most. If you have a number one, you tell them maybe. But it's too early to even have a number one. So dumb of Quinn. Don't like the way Cedric's been playing. I might have been very wrong about Matt in my assessment video of the cast when they first came out. But I've been very right about Cedric. I called him the young player who thinks he knows everything. And to me, that is how he comes off about the game. He's lucky he has Chelsea to try and reel him in. But as good as Chelsea is at reeling people in, I don't think it's working too great on Cedric. Cedric this week continued to try and develop his relationships with Matt, Leah, MJ, and that side of the house, and try and build that side up. And then he wanted to play the middle, which in theory is a smart idea if you could pull it off. But it's not a split house. Right now, there's no real middle, so you can't make it so and then do that, especially when you're already connected to three other people. Three people trying to play the middle. We saw that last season at a point. Doesn't work good. So Cedric, not doing so hot lately. I don't like the way he's trying to play both sides. It's getting messy already. It's too much. Who else to talk about? Takor, Chemo, I need them to wake up. I really need them to wake up. I feel like they are sleepwalking through the game, especially Chemo, who's on the block. But back to Chelsea, I do still love the way Chelsea's playing. I love that she sees how stupid a lot of people are playing already. It's a breath of fresh air for somebody to call that out so early. So Chelsea's very high in my book. Still, it's Chelsea and Tugger for me as my two favorites to watch play the game. But the feeds are still dominated a lot by Angela and Matt. Angela, they're both still getting my nerves. Like, if Kenny goes, it's probably for the best for the entertainment value, I suppose. But like I said yesterday, I still do not find Matt that entertaining. He's not fun to hear talk at people. There's only so much times I can see these dummies play Big Brother. And it happens every season now, where there's somebody so dumb like Matt has been so far. It gets old. And Angela, less crying, finally. But she still does a lot of things that annoy me. One of the main things that annoy me about Angela's game, she's good at being motherly, I suppose. It's in a way of like, oh, I love you guys. I love you all so much. She tells that to everybody. But she always tries to come off as the mom of the house. And she has some people calling her mom. And I don't know how that goes over so well with these people. Especially the way she's been acting this week. If I was in the house, I think I would have already told her, you're too blonde and too bloated to be my mother, so can you just back off a little bit? I need somebody to tell her, you're not my mother. Back up off sometimes. But we'll see if that actually happens. So yeah, that's where it stands. I don't know how many more updates I'm going to be able to do over the next few days. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to attempt to update tomorrow morning or early afternoon or late morning before I leave, although I don't know how this traveling is going to go, honestly, because it's been a mess traveling in the US. And after that, I might not be able to update again until Friday, maybe even Saturday, but hopefully at least by Friday, but we'll see how it goes. Right now, Matt is the replacement. Now we got Kenny, Matt, Chemo up on the block. Matt is the target. If Matt wins the AI challenge, it's between Kenny and Chemo. Kenny goes home, I believe. If it's Kenny and Matt that are on the block, that's tough. Because Kenny's kind of giving up right now. And will people just vote him out? I don't know. I kind of hope they keep him to spite him and to spite Matt if that happens. But if Kenny gets voted out, I mean, he brought it upon himself for being a weak player. I mean, you're an ex-cop. Honestly, it makes sense to me. Some cops are some of the biggest scaredy cats I've ever known.